Welcome back, friends. Welcome back to the homestead. I'm out in the garden. Weather at the moment is crazy. 2 days ago we had snow. In fact, I'll show you what it's like. Here, take a look. Today's, I don't know what the temperature is, 20. By the end of the week, they're talking about plus 25. So I need to get a scoot on really with the garden. Anyway, today's job. I think this video is going to be just me doing loads of jobs around the homestead and the garden, see what happens. This is really compact kind of time where everything needs to kind of come out and happen, and garden prep and you know. But today we're doing peas on the tall pea racks here. I had differing success with the germination. These seeds, Telefons from last year or whatever, they're older seeds, they didn't come out very well, but those new ones I got this year, I can't remember the name of them now. Taken, and then some Oscars didn't come out at all. But anyway, and then I've got another packet of Telefons to kind of fill in the gaps. So we'll get planted some peas, and then I'm just sort of taking a look around and thinking what else needs to be done, but the list is growing every moment. Just coming down to the lake. This is where the pump goes, or has been in previous years. The sun's setting soon, so it's low sun. So the lake is normally, previous years have been lower than this, but because the new sluice gate was finished last year, I'm wondering if this is the new natural level for the lake. So normally the pump would sit there. And you can see there's water here and there's water down here as well, right by where I've stood. I mean, I can walk further. It is wet though. Because I'm thinking I might do the pump tomorrow. Yeah. Because I need water up by the greenhouse really to carry on with the work up there. I mean, this would be really neat if this was the new level. Because I know that the water wouldn't run out then, but we'll see. It's difficult to know whether it's still receding or this is it. There's a house up there. So yeah, I think we'll get the water pump out tomorrow, set that up, because I've been looking at the weather. It doesn't look like it's going to be any more minuses, any frosts. Well, it could be a frost, but no minuses. And lots of dry weather ahead of us until middle of May maybe. The only slight problem, of course, is that the line is now got a small blockage, although it's easily solved with a chainsaw. So I need to deal with that as well, and possibly this one. I can't remember in previous years where the cable and the hose pipe went. Obviously 1 year or whatever, I'd love to get it all underground, but it won't be this year. Right, I'm going to sort this other greenhouse out. Take all the stuff out that's not needed. Turn over the beds. Well, certainly centre bed. Put the compost in and put some seedlings in. The path Skeeter's been scraping up on the basis that the chicken poo, which we don't need in the path, is quite valuable. So, and that's quite baked in. So we'll scrape that off. And then use that somewhere, not sure where, but all the other stuff obviously will just be turned over as per normal in this greenhouse anyway. And this is the only greenhouse where we don't really do no dig because we have the chicken poo. Chickens live in here in winter. If you've just stumbled across our video and don't know, yeah, chickens live here in winter, and so in the spring we have to sort it out. And kind of earth moves about because of their activity, so we have to move it about or replace it or whatever. Anyway, deal with this ground elder as well, and then yeah, basically just get on with it. Okay, so it's the next day now. You can see, you've probably just seen the time lapse where I finished off doing the digging over. So it looks a lot better in here now. But what we need to do next is I need to get water up here. We haven't got any water at the moment. I need to get the water pump hooked up so that I can jet wash, relatively speaking, all the dust off, and get some water into these beds and get some water onto the walkways to pat the dust down. This end is particularly soft and dusty. Just need that to re-solidify a bit. This is where the chickens like to do the dust baths, so it gets really, they scrape it all up during winter. Get some beds and water on the beds, and then get some compost on there and get the ceilings in. But before I can get the water up here, I need the wheelbarrow empty, or I need to cut those trees as well to let the hose pipe and electric cable get through. So there's quite a few jobs I need to do before I can get even the water up here and get this finished. So we're going to do that next. I just turn the pump on. The first time you do it, you need to bleed it. It's quite loud, well, loudish. So I need to bleed out the air. I didn't have my stand with me, so I couldn't film it. Basically, I had to dip the hose at the end, filter end, into the water deeper so that it sucked up the water. But it worked. Okay. Let's have a look down here. Okay, finished in here for now. I think you'll agree it's looking a lot better. More like a greenhouse rather than a chicken home. And all our seedlings are transplanted out now. Various lettuces, pak choys, green and red, and then some red Russian kale down at the bottom. And I did rake the rest of the beds in the end. Once they've been soaked, obviously the soil is softened and you're able to rake it then. And nothing else will happen here now until we plant out in May, all the tomatoes and peppers, etc. This is the latest addition to the family. Everyone meet Mia. It's like a chow Mia. She's 5 months old now. And it's kind of her first few days outside. I've decided to bring all the tomatoes and peppers out into the greenhouse because we're not going to have any frost. Well, even if we had a frost, they'll be fine in here, but we're not going to have any really cold temperatures. So I think we'll be better out here in the heat of the day, because those that were brought out earlier as an experiment seem to be growing better than those that have been indoors, which were in a cooler room. So I'm hoping they'll catch up. Following on from the tall peas, I've now sown some short peas, and they're in sixes, and I've got 2 in each hole, and this will be one succession, and then after maybe a week or 10 days I'll then do a second succession and a third succession, so we keep peas going. I know peas are kind of a cold weather crop, but and heat ramps up quite quickly here because of the seasons. But yeah, what I'm going to do now is cover those, rather than brush that in with the native soil. I'm going to cover them with the cow manure compost that we get locally, and you've seen anyway, I put it there and it's in there and there, etc. Because you know, eventually I want all this bed covered anyway, so you might as well do it now. What I need to do here before I get the onions planted is just take stock of the bed sizes. The garden's now 5 years old, and originally they had quite wide walkways here, but you can see the bed sizes have creeped. They've got bigger at the ends, and I've just measured them, and they should be 10 meters, and they're about 10.5, something like that. So I need to take, you know, I'm measuring them now and taking a view on a gap, and then I'll just scrape that gap and fill some wood chips in, and kind of take the average, I suppose. So that's what I'm going to do next. I need to do it here, that path there, this path here, and that one down there as well. I've measured all 3 beds, they're all too big, so that's what I'm going to be doing next. So I've just done this path down here, as you just see on the time lapse. Next, what I need to do are the walkways in between the beds. What I've already done is re-measured out the beds and put markers with in between. You can probably see these little dugouts. My shovel there is exactly the right size, 30 centimeters for the walkways. So that makes it quite an easy job. So I've just got the string line that I need to take and then put down, and then we'll just skim off a few centimeters off. All I really want to do is take the weeds off the top, so top 2 or 3 centimeters, because the beds are already higher than the walkways, and once the wood chips go in, they'll make it all level. So I don't really need to dig down at all. I just want to take that surface level of weeds off. I've already gone down with the Hori Hori, my Korean gardening knife, and taken out the dandelions, basically the more persistent, tenacious weeds, which have got the deep roots. So you need to get down deeper and get those roots out, otherwise they'll just come back to life. Already taken those out, they're on the side drying, and they'll go into probably a liquid fertilizer mix that I'll do, and then we can get more cow manure onto that bed there, which sorry, this one here, which I did a cover crop of peas in autumn last year, and then the frost killed them off. First few frosts killed them off, and that's the way to do it, really. And whether I'll leave that on the top or scrape it off, I'm not sure. I might just put the cow manure right on top, but you'll see me do that as well on time lapse. So I think we can just get on and do that next.
Where they usually
Okay, that's it for today because I'm pretty knackered and the mosquitoes are coming out now and biting. So you can see it's a nice improvement, and I'm ready for the third walkway to fill up, and we'll carry on tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow we'll plant the onions, I'm not sure, you'll see on the video. So anyway, all that work's got to be done either way. Yes, it's a lot of work, but I'm only doing it every 5 years, so it's not that big a deal really. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Okay, back out in the garden. I think that was done last night, which I didn't video. So today the plan is to get that bed sorted out. I'm going to rake off the pea hay, I suppose you'd call it, and get that path sorted out. I just came out and there was a grass snake, first grass snake of the season, which I nearly trod on actually, and then it hissed and slithered off. I managed to catch a little bit of video of it. And then tidy up these next couple of beds as well. I mean, they're relatively tidy in the sense that they're kind of ready to plant into. They just need some perhaps broad forking. And on that subject, yesterday I made a broad fork. I didn't video it, I needed it done quickly. It took me about, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour. I had a couple of forks. If you've not seen this is a broad fork. It's basically my version of it. It's 2 fork heads which I had lying around, welded together with a piece of scrap metal, and then somewhere to put your foot when you're pushing it. What you do is, you know, we're no dig here, but what we do is you want some air in the soil. So this, very gently, you just put it in and you gently lift it. You don't turn it over, you just lift it. You'll see me using it anyway. It just lifts the soil up. It doesn't destroy the structure underneath. So it's really handy for kind of refreshing beds with existing soil. When you're using a no dig, you're trying to do no dig, but you can't get all the compost. So this is a perfect kind of tool for being able to do that. I don't know why I didn't make one before really. Playing about with it yesterday, it's going to make my life a lot easier. So that'll be able to refresh those beds. And then maybe we'll get some onions. I keep threatening to plant some onions, but they do need to go in the next couple of days. But then these 3 beds will be ready. I've got more compost, composted manure to go on there, and then we'll have to go and get another load.
That's very bad. I'm not going to see you.
Here are some bear footprints. Going that way, looks like. Our house is, I don't know, 1/2 kilometre over that way. I mean, we know kind of bears are about, but it's never nice to see evidence of them. So, never a dull moment on the homestead. He just said the pump stopped working, so I come out to the pump house to inspect it. Normally it's a pressure valve. I need to find that the basement floor of the pump house, as we call it, pump pit, is under about half a metre of water, and I can hear the pump going. So for some reason, some fitting has gone and the pump's been pumping water into the basement this pit for I don't know how long. So I've got to wait. I've fixed up a sump pump. We had a spare sump pump which I've got to go in. It's not a very powerful one, but it will pump it out, and then I can get down and find out what's going on. Well, there's the problem. The pressure balloon and the pressure containers burst. And the question is why? Just wear and tear or something else? So we've been and got the replacement unit this morning, and we've got a new pressure switch as well here. I don't know whether the old one bust because it was wear and tear, or whether the pressure switch went faulty and it overpressurized and split. I don't know. These are rated up to 6 bar, and the pressure switch should turn off about 2 bar, so it should have been fine. It's easier to take the pump out and everything and then change it here on the desk and then take it back, bench, and take it back as one whole unit. It seems a relatively simple process to do that. I've changed this before, so I know how this works, but I've not done that before. I don't know how well clearly you saw that on the time lapse, but it's the pressure switch. What happens is moisture gets inside, they don't seal properly, and I've tried sealing them separately, and that little spring down there gets caught, gets rusted, as you can see it's rusted, and then it prevents this from working. It does seem to move, but I don't know about anyway, that was the problem with the last pressure switch. Possibly it's the problem with this one as well. It's working. We have water again. Yay!